The film starts with a woman, Sadie Rhodes, was driving when she got a phone call from her therapist. Sadie was lamenting the recent loss of her coworker, Elena, and the therapist told her to take steps to move on. Sadie told her that she would stop for groceries at a nearby farmer's market. At the farmer's market, Cole Turner was running a shop for herbs. His fellow coworkers thought he was still feeling bad over a recent breakup with his girlfriend, who had dumped him, advising him to stop being so needy. But he didn't think so. One of his coworkers, Edna, invited him to get high with her on the track, but he said nah. Paddy showed up moments later to buy a house plant from a nearby vendor. Coley stepped in since the vendors had taken a break to get high. Coley told Sadie that he was a farmer without telling her he is a farmer, and she was impressed. After a few chats later, they started arguing about which type of houseplant Sadie should get since she told Coley that she was not usually home because of work. Erna came back, urged Coley to go after Sadie. She thought that, under all the silly fighting, they were flirting. She noticed the sexual tension under the argument. Coley forgot that Edna was high and went to Sadie. He asked her out on a date and also mentioned the sexual tension between them under the argument. Sadie was confused. Then she agreed. Coley and Sadie went on a date where they got coffee and then visited library. Coley mentioned that he majored in agriculture and minored in history. After that, Coley showed Sadie the steps featured in the Exorcist movie. They raced up to the top and Sadie won. Then they went to karaoke bar later where Sadie performed for 9 seconds. She was fantastic and she signed up Coley to perform, but he refused to due to shyness. However, he was not shy enough to kiss her all night until the morning. Coley welcomed Sadie home and the sexual tension boosted their mood. They celebrated their first date by making love. Coley returned as a champion and his parents were proud of him. It had been 2 days since Coley had heard from Sadie, and he had already texted her a lot. His little sister, Mattie, thought Cole had already scared her away, and she was ghosting him. But Coley says that emojis didn't count. He genuinely believes that Sadie was the one, and his family reminded him that he didn't take risks and have not even left the country. Coley then realized that he had tracking tires on most of his items. He found that Sadie was in London. He decided to make a big romantic gesture to surprise her there. Coley traveled to London where he tried to reach the location of his tracker app. He also showed the taxi driver the gift he had brought. He was brought to London Bridge. The 3 big dudes found him, knocked him out and abducting him. Maybe Sadie was pranking him. Coley woke up underground being interrogated by a villain named Borislav. The villain and his men thought that Cole, the farmer who traveled thousands of miles to surprise a girl who had ghosted him, was an agent known as the Taxman, and that he had a top secret code that Borislav wanted. Coley tried to prove that he was an innocent farmer, but no one listened. Borislav tried to search for information by using murder hornets, but the door blasted open. An armed assassin killed Borislav and his men. The assassin turned out to be Sadie. She had waited for the perfect moment to show up. She was a secret agent and she was also the real taxman. He was surprised before he could surprise her. Sadie saved Coley. Sadie got Cole out and had him follow her. Sadie shot more bad guys coming after them before they made it above ground to the Khyber Pass. Sadie commanded a tourist bus with Cole as more villains went after them. Sadie drove the bus backwards. They chased after her, only to end up shot and blown up. 2 villains made it into the bus and Coley killed one by stabbing him in the face with a cactus intended to be a joke gift for Sadie, and knocking him out for the bus over a cliff while Sadie shoots the other one and made him fall. They proceeded to escape, but elsewhere, a discredited French intelligence operative named Levique and his henchman Wagner received intel on Cole, as they really believed he was a taxman and had the cause that they wanted to for bioweapon known as Aztec. Levique had a bounty put on Cole, here to be brought alive. Coley worked with Sadie, arguing over, thinking she had lied to him. She countered that he was being too needy. She also admitted that she had killed Elena because she turned out to be a rogue agent. They took a ride to nearby town in Pakistan to meet a contact Sadie named Marco. He thought he and Sadie had a romantic history, though she denied it. And he also mentioned how he had lost a hand for helping her as a warning to Cole not to get attached to her. Sadie paid Marco to help send Cole back to the US so she could continue her mission. Just as Cole and Sadie were about to part way, Marco was killed by a bounty hunter, calling himself grandson of Sam. He was set to collect the bounty on Cole only for another bounty hunter called the Leopard to shoot grandson and take Cole and Sadie with him into his car. Then another bounty hunter called God the Bounty Hunter snapped Leopard's neck and made Cole and Sadie drive. When he escorted them at gunpoint, God the Bounty Hunter was run over by a barely alive grandson. Before he died, grandson told Sadie where the bounty was supposed to be delivered. On their way, Cole mentioned the passcode, to which Sadie explained to him what Aztec was and that Elena knew the passcode before she was killed. Sadie came up with a plan to trick Levico by taking Cole in like a hostage that they needed alive. They boarded a plane with Wagner, and as he tried to unlock Aztec from a briefcase that Levico was in possession of, unfortunately, Cole and Sadie's plan went awry when Wagner found a selfie that Cole had taken of himself and Sadie in bed while she was asleep. She was disturbed, but ended up fighting off Wagner and the other henchman before Cole grabbed a parachute and jumped out with an injured Sadie and Aztec. The two landed on island, where Cole used the parachute as a tent and patched up Sadie's stab wound with nearby herbs. While they set up camp for the night, Cole talked about why he never traveled, using his parents as an excuse and claiming they need him, while Sadie revealed that her mom has passed away when she was young. The two appear to be reconnecting their romance. The next morning, Wagner sent goons to the location where Cole and Sadie had been tracked. They made a run for it, but were saved by other CIA agents, who took them both into headquarters. Cole and Sadie were put into a room for a lie detector test, where Sadie admitted that it was a mistake to save Cole's life since she valued her work over personal relationship. When Cole was met by another agent separately, he showed Cole a picture of Sadie's skills, but one picture caught his eye. It was of Elena's corpse, but above her was a houseplant that was used by ancient Aztecs, meaning that the genetic sequence of this plant was, in fact, the code for Aztec. Cole agreed with the agent's plan to use him to lure Levico by having him continue to pretend to be taxman. Levico got the first part of the passcode, which Wagner confirmed worked. Levico was feeling increased pressure to deliver Aztec to his buyer, Mr. Utami, who threatened to have Levico killed if he failed him. The agents set up a meeting between Cole and Levico to take place in a rotating restaurant. Utami joins them, with the plan almost failing when Cole did not have the passcode, but Sadie showed up and revealed herself a taxman to the villains. They got the briefcase open, and she received her payment. But issued a 10 million bounty on the Levico to get them out. A bunch of bounty hunters then stepped up and aimed their gun at Levico, prompting the other patrons to flee. Soon, a fight broke out. The restaurant started rotating too quickly. Sadie briefly ran into an EX, a one-eyed bounty hunter named Jonas, who tried to tell her that she had changed his life. But she was distracted by the big fight. Cole fought Wagner, which ended with him throwing Wagner into a rotating gear mechanism that crushed him. Levico tried to get out with Aztec after killing Utami. Cole, Sadie, and Levico got thrown against the windows, which started breaking under pressure. Sadie shot a small tower that fell on top of Levico, sending him falling into his death. Sadie managed to grab Aztec before it fell out, and she and Cole kissed, a victory kiss. Later on, Cole brought Sadie to meet his family. They chilled. 3 months later, he joined her on a mission by taking in targets for information, starting with an arms dealer named Raul. But first, they enjoy museum date. Yeah.